Espa. Welcome back to my channel. Today is the recipe junk journal, the Joy of Cooking recipe junk journal, part 5. Today I'm going to be working on some pockets for recipe cards, and I want to show you a couple of different ways to use these. This one is one I made yesterday. You've got this little kind of accordion fold so that you can have a recipe here and a recipe here. There's actually quite a bit of room to make multiple recipes. And then obviously there's this flip here as well. But, so then you can kind of still see your recipe card through it because it's a wax bag. So what these are the Reynolds Kitchens wax paper sandwich bags. And I will show you how to do this style pocket on this page here. But you basically just have your bag, and then I've got all these images cut out of the turn this light on, give a little bit more light in here. The wedding cookbook. Just love the images on there. Just a second. I thought it looked a little dark, but then realized that the brightness on my phone was down. I couldn't hardly see anything. So, okay, so I'm going to be making these into recipe cards by adding some lined paper on the back. But for right now, I want to make sure that my pockets are big enough to hold those. So I'm just going to slide that down in there. So then what you want is, about inch and a half, 2 inches farther down. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you just cut your bag down a little bit like this. Now then, fold it over. And you want to leave a little bit of space in case maybe you have, a larger card that you want to put in there, just to give it enough room there. So now you have all this excess layers on the back. So what we're going to do is open up this layer here. This kind of comes in like this, and I'm going to cut down to the fold line on that back side there. The reason I'm doing that, you don't have to do that, but I am doing that just so that I can glue this part together to give this little flap a little bit more stability. It's probably not necessary, but that's what I'm doing. So then I'm going to do the same thing on this one. See if I can get down there a little bit better. Show you guys. Okay, so we've got these two folds. I'm just cutting this one down to that fold there. Now I'm going to cut this off. Now, what we're left with is this. Now I'm going to cut right there. Because if you don't, you want this to be able to open. This part's going to be glued down, and you want this to be able to open, so that's why you got to cut that part. Again, you don't have to do that. You could just cut all of this, all the way off, but I'm doing that so that I have a little bit more stability there. And I'm thinking that I probably did not cut quite enough because I have my fold here, and I don't want that to get caught on anything, so I'm going to just cut it a little bit better. It's a little tricky cutting a wax bag. Okay. So then there you have the flap that you can attach to your book, and then this opens up so that you can put so it's kind of nice because you've got bring this out just a little bit. You've got this one down here, and then you have this one right here that keeps your recipes separated. And when you open it up, you can very easily grab your recipe cards. So I am going to put this here on this side. I think I want to put it on that side. Do I want to put it on that side? Yes, on that side. Okay. So, I'm just going to grab my glue here. I'm going to start by gluing these little tabs down here. And I haven't had any trouble with the zip dry holding this wax paper down good. You know, when you think of trying to glue wax paper, you think maybe it won't hold, but the zip dry seems to work pretty well, and it does kind of soak in a little bit, so it does work pretty well. Okay. Okay. Now then, get that line back up and have it lined up very good. Alright, so there's that, and now what you can do is take a little piece of paper. I'm going to take a piece of this paper here and cut it down to size, just a little bit shorter than each side, and I'll show you why here in just a second. Take a little strip of paper, and I'm going to fold it. In my last pocket, I actually tried cutting it, cutting a little half circle out of it, and that didn't really work too well because the wax bag is just pretty flimsy. So you really kind of need to reinforce that. So then you're going to slide that in and glue it down. And that seems to work pretty well. Got that. And that way. Alright, so then that makes it a little bit more sturdy and easy to open. So there's one way to do a wax bag pocket, and then I will show you another. These are not wax bag. These are kind of like really heavy vellum pockets, but these were like some pre-made We Are Memory Keepers, I think. Yeah, it was typecast, but they had these little stickers with like twine so that you could make those kind of type of envelopes. But I just had 3 left, and I thought, well, they were the perfect size for my little cards that I made, recipe cards. So I just kind of folded the flaps and then kind of, overlapped them so that I could use them that way. And then you can take the recipe card out if you want, but you can see the writing through, so that is just another way you can use like some pre-made envelopes, and then I just took a wax seal and just added a little heart because, baking is love. So, yeah, so that's that one. But as far as the sandwich bags, I think it's in, is it in here? No, it's not in there. I think it's in this one. Yep. So this is one of my flips that I showed you guys yesterday, and then I was playing around with this page yesterday as well. So you can see the edge is still treated the same way with the little bit, but it's not a fold over. This is actually, I can turn it so you guys can see it, a multi-accordion fold kind of thing. You can, there's a pocket down there. There's a pocket right there. And then you got this one here. I'm thinking about taking another piece of scrapbook paper and putting it on this one, and then you have this one here. And you could actually keep doing this as far as you want to, as many as you want layered up. But it's very simple. Realistically, all you gotta do is, decide how wide you want it, and that would determine, like, you could, if you wanted to do some shallow cards and you wanted the tabs sticking out, then you would cut it down lower. Then your tabs can stick out, which, you know what, I might just go ahead and do that just to kind of show you guys. So I think I've got 2 bags lined up here. Just want to make sure I cut them evenly. And I am just going to cut them across. And you can save these. These work great for collage work and stuff. So I think this is a little bit uneven, so I'm going to cut this a little bit more. Alright, so close this up and get this out of the way here. Alright, so basically you're just going to glue these together. So line them up a bit. Alright, so after gluing those together, then you have your kind of accordion fold type of a pocket where you can slide in your recipe cards if you want to. And it's kind of fun because you can still see the images through the front a little bit. So that's kind of cute. So then you have, you know, just your accordion fold recipe pocket basically, and it's very simple. And then you would just glue that down onto your book, you know, wherever you want. To me, for this book, they're a little bit too wide to put them like this. That's why I've been turning them sideways with the pockets kind of facing into the book. That way, you know, if the book falls or something, then they're not going to all slide out. But you can do it however you want to do it. I kind of wish they were shorter so that I could put them that way, you know, because, I mean, technically you could put them there, but then once your pages are all, you know, very close together, you know, depending how full, you're not going to be able to pull that out. That back side is going to be hindered. So you got to be thinking about that when you're deciding what you want to do. So then that one can just go, you know, I can put it there, I can put it wherever I want, but I will want to do the same thing to reinforce that piece. And honestly, I think I'll do 2 of them. And then just fold those in half again, just like we did on the first pocket. Okay. And glue that down. And these, the only place I've found these wax bags was at Target, so, you know, I don't know if you can order them online, like on Amazon or something, but they're pretty handy bags. I've used them for a lot of different things. They work really well with doing vintage collage because with the like Mod Podge and stuff on them, they get really dark. You know, when you're putting them into your collage, so, but they're still see-through at that point, so they just kind of add a nice little depth and dimension to the collage work. Now, this one's going to be a little bit harder, I think, to get it in there, so I'm going to put the glue kind of closer. Alright. Do one side at a time. There. Alright. Now then. So that's kind of nice, you know, got the little pattern paper there. And that kind of stiffens it up, makes it not so jelly. And then for my other one, I have put a sheet of paper on the back side. You can do that if you want to. It's not 100% necessary, but I do like to have mine a little bit more sturdy. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. You could just glue this straight down into your page if you want to. I don't want these to last for a long time, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. Make sure it's nice and sturdy. And the reason I am gluing it with the paper face up is because, you know, if you go in, you can still see that paper through the bottom, which is kind of nice. You want to be very careful when you're cutting it down, because you don't want to cut into the fold of your wax bag, because then it's just going to come apart. Okay, so now that is basically a finished pocket there. And you can stick your recipes down in there. So that's kind of fun. And you've got a nice little accordion recipe pocket. So to put in wherever you want inside your book. So that was pretty much what I wanted to show you, how to make those little, those fun little, so you can see on this one, I've added a little tab from an old recipe book, and I think I'm going to go back and reinforce this center just like I did that other one, but this one I made it wider, because these are not going to have tabs on the sides. They're just wider, larger, you see, cards. So really you just want to, you know, make it to fit your cards. And again, as you can see on the bottom there, I put some pattern paper behind that one as well. But so that's a very easy way to get some storage for your recipe cards in your recipe junk journal. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this little short tutorial, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!